before they came, life at London Zoo was unbearable. Cubs of a different kind grew out of the genius of a man revered the world over, Lord Robert Stevenson Smythe Baden-Powell, founder of the Boy Scout movement. Baden-Powell was a real-life Peter Pan. His enthusiasm for adventurous outdoor life stayed with him until the time of his death in Kenya in 1941. Just over 100 years ago, at the age of 19, he became an officer in the 13th Hussars, serving in India. And there he found the practical groundwork for the books he was to write later. They became immensely popular, thrusting BP into the limelight that would thereafter follow him wherever he went. Young Baden-Powell's experience in military scouting in India and during the Ashanti and Matabele campaigns planted the seed of the organization that would later become worldwide. His book, Aids to Scouting, was read as avidly by civilians as by army men on active service. The famous fleur-de-lis originated as a badge carried by his own army scouts in India. But the Baden-Powell star was to shine even brighter in the Boer War. He became the successful defender of Mafeking during the siege, and as such, the idol of England. Honours were heaped upon him. King Edward VII personally conferred the Order of the Companion of the Bath. Under the shadow of the windmill on Wimbledon Common, Baden-Powell wrote Scouting for Boys. It outlined the ideas for a civilian scouting movement, a character-building corps dedicated to service for boys from all walks of life. In July 1907, 20 boys from varying social levels attended Baden-Powell's experimental camp on Brownsea Island in Poole Harbour. Scouting had begun. As in these early scenes, Baden-Powell and his embryo scouts tracked, stalked, erected tents, enjoyed games and tests, sang around the campfire for 20 glorious days. They did, in fact, what hundreds of thousands of youngsters were about to do all over the world. As the movement grew, Girl Guides and Wolf Cubs became an integral part of scouting. When the scout leader married late in life, his wife Olav joined in scouting with great enthusiasm, becoming guide leader. The movement spread like wildfire, across frontiers, even across oceans. He presided over jamborees, took the salute at hundreds of parades of a movement he could see literally growing as he watched. The Chief Scout's walking sticks were to become famous. They became a scouting symbol, just as the fleur-de-lis became an everyday sight in dozens of countries. These walking sticks are lovingly preserved. It became almost traditional to present a new stick to Scouting's founder on ceremonial occasions. Within an incredibly short time, Scouting became international, and it's still growing. 70 years after the Boy Scout movement began, Ireland invited the world of scouting to the green slopes of the Knock-me-all-down mountains for a jamboree. The old familiar charisma of scouting is soon in evidence. Despite modern pressures to persuade youth to take the easy line, to turn its back on basic values, the need for those simple outdoor releases, which Baden-Powell knew so well, is still there. Never a dull moment at a jamboree, and never nothing to do. The bridge may not be a classic engineering miracle, perhaps it isn't really needed, but it was fun putting it together. Across another bridge at Windsor, there'll be a parade of scouts from all sections of the movement